Ja. Es gibt Aufgaben als Master of Ceremonies, die machen Spaß und das sind ganz viele Dinge an so einem Wochenende. Und es gibt Nachrichten, die man nicht allzu gerne überbringt. Michael van Gerwen ist nicht hier in Sindelfingen. Er ist nicht hier angekommen. Wir hatten, und die PDC, wir hatten alle die Hoffnung, dass das noch irgendwie gut gehen würde, aber seit heute Nachmittag wissen wir, dass er den Weg hierhin nicht finden konnte. Das tut uns natürlich leid. Und ihr wisst, dass man dann auch nicht so schnell Ersatz finden kann, logischerweise.
And that, Paul Nicholson, is reason for the rest of the field to be worried.
He looks angry, and you don't want to see him when he's angry. Look at that stride. He looks like he wants to rip someone's head off.
Well, we know he is capable of doing it. The winner of 5 Euro Tour events this year already. Venray, Munich, Gibraltar, Dusseldorf and Mulheim. MVG has won them all in 2016.
Nobody, upon nobody, has won more than 5 in a year before. But this man, Mighty Mike, could make it a 6th this weekend. He's not just beaten the best over the last 4 years, he's destroyed them all. It's D.Webster in his sights tonight.
Van Gerwen has never won a title here at the Glaspalast. But looking at him right now, he looks in the mood to put that right.
Too right he does. MVG, Mighty Mike, Michael van Gerwen, this is unfinished business.
Da haben wir nochmal Glück gehabt. Er ist da, der Weltmeister von 2014. Der Mann, der seit 2, 3 Jahren diese PDC-Tour auf links gedreht hat. Alleine in 2016 hat er schon 15 Turniere gewinnen können. Er ist die Nummer 1 der Welt. Schön, dass er hier den Weg in den Glaspalast gefunden hat. Herzlich willkommen, MVG, Mighty Mike, Michael van Gerwen. An dieser Stelle auch ein kleines Dankeschön an Michael van Gerwen, dass er diesen Spaß mitgemacht hat. Jetzt wird er herausgefordert von einem der ältesten Teilnehmer bei diesem Turnier. 50 Jahre ist er alt, er kommt aus Norwich. Er hat zumindest einmal Phil Taylor mit 6:0 bezwungen. Einer der ganz wenigen, der das hinbekommen hat. Der WM-Viertelfinalist von 2007. Auch ihn begrüßen wir herzlich, den Demolition Man, D.Webster.
Silence, guard against extraterrestrial violence. We ain't on no government.
Well, that was odd. Michael van Gerwen, the world #1.
Eventually making his way to the stage after some pre-game theatrics, and well, Michael van Gerwen's just walked on first as well. curious circumstances here at the Happy Bet European Darts Grand Prix as Darren Webster, the demolition man, looks to topple Mighty Mike, the world #1, the man who won the last European Tour, and he won the last one he was involved in before that as well. Wasn't around when Mensur Suljovic claimed his debut title a couple of weeks ago in the east of Germany. Mighty Mike, 5 Euro Tour titles this year already. Nobody has won more than that. Can he make it 6 this weekend? He could make it 6 this weekend and 7 next month. That is the kind of stuff Mighty Mike throws nowadays. Dan Dawson to talk you through this one, and Rob Malarkey joins me.
Rob Malarkey relieved there wasn't a riot after the news that Michael van Gerwen wasn't here, but we are all systems go. And Michael van Gerwen also looking for a 14th European Tour title of his glittering, his illustrious and brilliant career.
First leg, Darren to throw first. Game on.
And also hoping to round off what has been a very productive summer indeed for the world #1, retaining his world match play title, beating Phil Taylor.
140.
Success last weekend as well. Success on the World Series stage 2.
134.
Much more to come, you imagine.
Yeah, well, the reign of MVG does not appear to be ending anytime soon. But he has never won a title here at the Glaspalast in Sindelfingen.
84.
We've had different winners every time we've held a tournament here. The first year we came here, that was Adrian Lewis. The next year we played here twice, with Wes Newton and Steve Beaton the winners. Then Mervyn King won in 2014, and it was Kim Huybrechts here last year beating Peter Wright in the final.
But Michael van Gerwen just loves ticking things off that list of things to achieve in the game. And for somebody who has achieved so much, it's a case of almost searching for the next
Darren, you
objective.
require 137.
Well, Van Gerwen on a possible 11 darter. Webster, he's not going to take out the 137. He's got the treble 18. Norwich twang from Darren Webster, just checking what he's left.
89. Michael, you require 90.
Starting on the 20s. Oh, he starts on the ball. Well, interesting. Hits the treble, double 10. And there it is, Michael van Gerwen, 12 darter. It doesn't matter if you put on some sort of Amdram production for his walk-on. He still goes out there and throws a 12 dart as a break throw. Unworryingly for Darren Webster, well, apart from the fact that he's kicked off 180, Michael van Gerwen, last time out, he beat him 4-0 at the World Championship in the second round. Darren Webster won 1 leg in that game. Before that, he beat him 6-0 in Ireland, and that's 4 perfect darts, but he can't find the 5th. Before that, he beat him 6-1 in September last year. Michael van Gerwen has won 24 legs. Darren Webster has won 2.
And on top of that, when they met in the European Darts Trophy in the second round in 2013, MVG won 6-0.
134.
Yeah, that World Championship win, by the way, Michael van Gerwen won it 4-0 in sets. I'll say only dropped 1 leg. He averaged 109.23. It was the 3rd highest average ever seen at the World Championship. And MVG has just gone 12 darter, 11 darter, and he is averaging enormous numbers here. We're 2 legs in. I know we're 2 legs in, but it's 130.
140.
Do you suspect that he saw what Mensur Suljovic did a few minutes ago and thought, I'm going to beat that. I'm just going to go out there and smash that to pieces?
93.
Well,
it could have fired him up if he needs any firing up.
And if he watched it, I'm sure he will be aware that Mensur has played well.
60.
But Michael van Gerwen, he is the top dog in world darts. He's not the world champion, we know that.
134.
But just look at everything he has won over the last couple of years.
Well, 15 titles alone this year.
100.
If you include all the UK Open qualifiers and the Players' Championship events as well, but Darren Webster with a 180.
98.
Gets himself in the frame to get a leg on the board.
Looking very good for this leg. That would just be, what, a third in nearly 30?
81.
Yes,
Great
sets it
setup.
up because Van Gerwen on 176, there was no need to be heading for the treble 17.
96. Darren, you require 40.
Well, Webster needs this. Otherwise, Van Gerwen could well gobble it up. Ooh, double 10. There we go, Darren Webster.
Darren Webster, fumbling Michael to throw first.
Won't be 6-0 today.
No, it will not.
96.
And Webster has a leg on the board. Winner of this one will face the bronzed Adonis Steve Beaton, a 6-3 winner against Alan Tabban in the afternoon session here. And for the first 4 legs, Beaton was averaging 111. It did drop substantially and go down to the low 90s in the end, but he was playing some wonderful
46.
stuff, Steve Beaton, for the early part of that game. And MVG, well, I'm glad we had a little look at that 130 average while it was there, because it's gone down a little bit now.
100.
It was exciting to see those big numbers.
Yeah, that was another achievement this year, I suppose, as well. What, the 123.4 in Aberdeen?
Well, achievement, world record.
99.
It was nearly 130 plus.
If he'd not missed that double 18, it's another thing chalked off, ticked off on the bucket list of Michael Van Gerwen, if he has such a thing in his mind.
60.
I'm sure he does.
Oh, it looks good. Looks very good. It's so good. It's so good. It's just a strut around the hockey for Michael Van Gerwen. This is his stage.
Well, it's Darren Webster's stage momentarily, but Van Gerwen here, double 10 for a 3-1 lead.
He shot to the full flag.
It's
Michael Van Gerwen.
absolutely
They've let
brutal.
Darren to throw first. Game on.
Well, look, I did grab a quick word with Darren Webster before he went up there, and he said he's up for it. And look, he
85.
can. He does have the game to take it to the big boys. And Darren, a couple of years ago, he said, you know, I may not be, you know, I may not make the elite, but I'm going to be the biggest pain in the backside to all these boys that I can be.
Third 180 of the match for Van Gerwen. Webster's got 2.
95.
Surely, if anyone.
You can see he wants it. He wants it, he expects it.
Absolutely love it.
57.
Again, just something to register in the achievements of 2016.
Right. Go back to, it was Dusseldorf, wasn't it, where he missed it
43.
twice in a day. Twice in a day on double 12.
58.
A shake of the head, disconsolate with the 58 on the board.
60.
1-2-1. The average at the moment, just dipping slightly again.
56.
1-1-7 after that previous visit.
$134. Mark, you go
Good darts from Darren Webster.
Very good indeed.
Well, I'm never sure about that as the shot, to be honest.
102.
150 going for the bullseye. Not sure it's the wisest one. I saw Alan Norris do it last weekend, and he maintains it's the only way to go. But that's the double, so it's double 11 for
73.
Webster.
Mark, you require 48.
tops. Still tops.
He shows in fifth flag, Michael Van Gerwen.
Michael Van Gerwen 4-1 up now
Sixth flag, Michael to throw first.
cruising, and
Game on.
it just seems so easy for him. So easy. We saw Mensur Suljovic go and average 108.5 and look imperious. Michael Van Gerwen is averaging pretty much the same, and you just feel there's more in the tank.
It's just that rhythm when he gets going. It's just absolutely
60.
delightful to watch. As you say, he's not the world champion, but he is just by far and away untouchable at times.
96.
And it's just the regularity with which he hits these big 105 plus averages.
140.
We know that you can lose when you average 115. We know that other players can go and throw similar averages back at him and they can beat him. But the thing is, whereas they may do it every now and again, Michael Van Gerwen does it on a terrifyingly regular basis.
122.
For a significant portion of the Premier League, his average over the season was 107.
57.
107 is a phenomenal game for most players. There were some monster ones that were dragging that average up, but there aren't many
99.
rubbish ones, or comparatively rubbish ones, to drag it back down. That is because Michael van Gerwen's C game and D game is often good enough to beat people up.
96. Darren, you
But
require
Darren Webster
80.
is looking for a break of throw here. 20 for tops. May have to go if he has designs on winning this
40.
game, and it's not.
Michael, you require 92.
Yeah, good inch or so above the wire, that one. Van Gerwen looking to punish Webster devastatingly here, although it won't be on this occasion. Webster has another chance to make it 4-2.
Darren, you require 40.
There we go, another leg on the board for Webster, a man who only allowed Robert Allenstein 2 shots at a double in his 6-0 win in the first round yesterday. Webster hit 66% of his doubles in that one.
Yeah, there are only 2 shots at the bullseye as well.
125.
He was absolutely superb yesterday, Darren Webster.
He was, and he's not playing badly here either.
Well, that's it, isn't it? He's had 6 darts at double in this game, hit a couple of them. He's still averaging 95, but it is not been sufficient so far. But you know what?
100.
That ton gives him a decent lead here. If he could just hold his throw, it is only 4-3, and despite MVG obviously averaging
59.
until a leg ago, he was averaging way in the 110s. That has now shot down to 102, and Darren Webster is
100.
just clawing his way back here. He's already won more legs in the match than he has done the last 3 times he's met MVG, and one of those was over a long format in sets as well.
Yeah, it's a very different Darren Webster to the one we saw last week, getting absolutely battered by Kyle Anderson in Mulheim.
60.
Shrug of the shoulders and a gesture to the camera there as he posts just 60.
90. Darren, you require 116.
Needs the treble. Gets the treble, double 18.
80. Michael, you require 170.
Could be a killer.
Could be absolutely devastating, but it won't be. Webster will return. And Webster will return to make it
134. Darren, you
4-3.
require 36.
Well, he was 4-1 down,
And
and now it's 4-3. And Darren Webster is making Michael van Gerwen work for this, and maybe, just maybe, he can overhaul the world #1. But he's going to need some strong legs here.
And just when Michael van Gerwen starts getting inconvenienced, that's when we can see him just turn up the heat once again.
Well, we saw it against Mensur Suljovic in the final last weekend on the Euro Tour. He trailed 5-4 in the final, produced a 12 darter, and then on a 10 darter, won it in 11 in the deciding leg. And we've seen him do that kind of stuff. When he's been put under pressure, he finds his best. That's what separates a good player from one of the all-time greats. And he does it on an incredibly regular basis. And he's left 167 after 9. Darren Webster needs to fill this up, and even if he did, oh well.
Well, even if he did, it was still a tall order, and it's a very, very tall order now.
67.
Oh, Michael.
Wouldn't put it past him, not to be.
The purse of the lips suggested that he would have gone for the bullseye there. But he's left double 14 for a 13-dart leg and a 5-3 lead, and that would lead Darren Webster needing to win all 3 remaining legs, and that is exactly what has happened. Michael van Gerwen 1 leg away from the final day of action here. Darren Webster does have the throw in 2 of the remaining 3 legs.
But he needs something solid here from which to build.
He does have 1 win over MVG, but it was back in 2014. And a second win. It's just been made a little bit harder by that 140 from MVG. But Webster, what a response.
140.
Michael van Gerwen, by virtue of his 5 wins already on the European Tour, we know he is an unassailable lead at the top of the European Tour rankings, which means he will be #1 seed for the European Championship in Hasselt in Belgium. But I believe that Benito van der Pass's win today has just moved Phil Taylor out of the top 8, meaning Phil Taylor is no longer a seed. Now that does throw up the possibility it could be Taylor versus Van Gerwen in round 1 in Hasselt, or Taylor versus anybody. Interesting times.
Yeah, it was only a matter of time before Taylor was going to get caught anyway. But yeah, it has happened today. You're absolutely right with Van der Pass. Anyway, Webster gets another leg on the board once again with double 18. 5-4. Just something to think about here for Van Gerwen.
Oh, now then, 43. Darren Webster, a big one here, would put the cat very much amongst the pigeons.
100.
Just the tongue. Is it enough? Van Gerwen cannot afford a poor leg here, and he's only kicked off 43. If he thought it was going to be like the last 3 times he met Darren Webster and he was just going to blow him away, it has not happened like that. Darren Webster said he was up for it, and he's had to endure an absolute blitz in the early stages from the world #1, but he is stuck in there and he has given himself an opportunity. That's just a 60 though. He knows that's a problem for him, and it's becoming an even bigger problem for him now. Massive, massive problem for him.
That's just typical Van Gerwen. Yeah, Webster needed something big here. Van Gerwen has just rediscovered his touch.
Oh no, Michael Van Gerwen, double 12, another 12 darter. Michael Van Gerwen with a 138 checkout, and he has made it look very, very easy in the end. But Darren Webster worried him. Do not worry about that. MVG is through to the final day of action. He will face Steve Beaton for a place in the quarterfinals here at the Happy Bet European Darts Grand Prix. We've got 3 more spots in the round of 16 available. Joe Cullen and Robbie Green rounds things off. Ian White and James Wilson. That is a game that could be an absolute belter. But coming up now, it's Brendan Dolan, former Grand Prix finalist, taking on the #2 seed and a man who is hugely popular here in Germany, Peter Snakebite Wright.
From Demolition Man, Darren Webster. Michael, congratulations. First of all, thank you very much for doing this little joke. They were shocked.
Yeah, I only heard, I was standing behind the curtain and only boo. No, but I never let the PDC Europe and all the Germans down. I try to come as many tournaments as I can, and I always want to perform really well, and I think that's also my strength and my power.
Yeah, and you play almost every tournament on the European Tour. This match averaged 104, 86% on checkouts. Great game.
Enough to win the first round, and I'm glad with my performance, and I'm also glad with the crowd. I think this is fantastic.
What an atmosphere. 3,200 people are here in Sindelfingen. Steve Beaton is the next opponent tomorrow. Steve Beaton, you're playing next?
Oh, Steve Beaton. I know we played a lot of games against each other, but it's been a while he beaten me, so I hope I can perform really good, and of course try to do enough for the crowd, because they want to have $9 180s constantly, but we're not always robots, but I try to be a robot.
It's good to have you here. Thank you very much. Michael van Gerwen. Wird alles versuchen, um vielleicht ja hier auch nochmal einen 9-Darter zu werfen. Das ist schon ein Weilchen her. Und er sagt, er ist in einer guten Form. Er ist ohnehin jemand, der immer wieder versucht, alle European Tour Turniere zu spielen. Er hat die Buhrufe mitbekommen, als wir uns den kleinen Scherz erlaubt haben, zu sagen, er wäre nicht angekommen. Und jetzt wird er morgen gegen Steve Beaton spielen. Hat einen guten Auftritt gezeigt. Er ist in einer guten Form. MVG sehen wir morgen also wieder, und vielleicht kann er sogar noch einen draufpacken. Jetzt gibt er noch ein paar Autogramme. Das wird die Michael van Gerwen-Fans freuen. Und ich darf schon mal sagen, auch das nächste Match ist nicht so ganz von schlechten Eltern. Brendan Dolan fordert Snakebite Peter Wright heraus. Bis gleich.